So in this video, I'm going to talk about what exactly I will do if I will have to start my business from absolutely zero. And when I'm recording this video, to be honest with you, I'm trying to not show off, because the purpose of this video is to guide you to get started with something. And along with that, I will give my example how I got started and how it literally changed my life. And trust me, this is a blessing when I say this. And I'm not sitting here trying to show off like, I have some Lamborghini or a multi-millionaire or something like that. That's not the whole purpose of this video. To be honest with you, I started my career working 2 full-time jobs. I remember I used to start at 9 o'clock in the morning, finish that job 7 o'clock, and then start another job 7:30 and finish that 3:30 in the morning. So I was working day and night with little as 4 to 5 hours sleeps. And yes, I was making money. But to be honest with you, I didn't have a freedom to do the things, to try the things which I like doing. It might be a little bit, you might think it's very hypocritical to say, but I'm not always thinking about money. I like free time more than each and everything. Like, I like to wake up when I like to wake up. I like to go to bed when I like to go to bed. I like to do what I like to do. So this is a freedom, the control on your own time. It's you control the clock, not the other way around where the clock actually control you. So after finishing that, 2 different jobs, I thought with this, I'm not going anywhere, to be honest with you. So I decided to open a physical mobile phone shop in London. And I started my own business, and it was probably the first step was the hardest thing to do. So the point number 1, if I will have to start from all over again, first of all, you have to think about, you need to lower your, I call this being a slave inside the matrix, as the Andrew Tate will say. And this is somewhat very true, because once you have a full-time job, first you have to you have a regular everyday kind of stuff. You have your utility bills, you have your mobile phone bills, all the direct debits. Down the line, you will finance a card, you have another payment, you might have some other things like probably laptop or something like that on a finance. Down the line, you will mortgage a house, and then you have a mortgage payment monthly as well. So you are decreasing your capacity to take risk day by day. So the first thing, if I look back when I started my business, it was a very perfect time, because I didn't had any these sort of commitment. So for my capacity to take a risk and say, F it, I'm just gonna try it and see how it's gonna work for you, was just easier decision for me. So I think a lot of people, they might be into those commitment and it's very hard, but what you have to see down the line, like probably 10 years from now or 20 years from now, where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself probably making the double the amount of what you are making now? And the money is not just about for the sake of making money and buying materialistic things. For me, it's more about the freedom. Like what I can buy my time back with that money, and I can do the stuff which I like to do. So the first hurdle is always going to be get started. And I can tell you from my own experience, it seems very difficult in the beginning. And obviously once you start any sort of business, especially I'm in an e-commerce business now, in the beginning, they're always going to be, and most of the time, they're always going to be a very less reward for you. And you're going to think, okay, it's not worth doing it. I'm working probably 10-20 hours a week on my, let's say, a side hustle or e-commerce business, and I'm just making, let's say, $200-300 or £200-300 a week, and it's not worth doing for me, because if I do a full-time job as compared to this, I can simply make more money. But you don't realize over the period of time, the amount of work that you're gonna have to do in your e-commerce business or in any business, it's gonna go down, and the reward is going to become higher. But that is not something that you will be able to achieve once you're working for somebody else. You're just simply making someone else's money. So the first step is to get started, and don't think about how much money I'm going to make in the beginning. It's more about you're working somewhere to build your future, where probably down the line, I hope it's not going to take that long, but down the line, you will be able to achieve something. So I think for me, when I got started and I opened a mobile phone shop, that wasn't like something which gave me a lot of freedom, to be honest with you. Like, I remember I was, I used to open my shop 9 o'clock in the morning and close 9 o'clock at night. I was still working 12 hours a day. But down the line, like when, we know our high street, we don't get a lot of customers nowadays as well. So I had this opportunity to sell all the stuff which I had in my mobile phone shop onto eBay and Amazon. And it opened the way for me to actually buy my freedom. You know what I mean? So I wasn't always dependent on my physical shop being open all the time in order for me to make money, even though at the night time, like most of the people who sell on eBay and Amazon, they will know that most of the orders that we will get are actually at night time. So you are probably sleeping, and then still the vehicle of making money is still running, and it's working for you as compared to you working for someone. So you're just gonna have to think about, this is not something which is gonna happen once you make your commitment harder and harder. So they say, what was the good time to plant a tree was probably 10 years ago, and another one is today. So as compared to you think something about tomorrow or day after, I know it's very hard to get started, but I think most of the people are actually stuck at this step as well. So you're gonna have to get started from somewhere. As I said, it's not going to be ideal once you get started, and then the things will work for you as compared to you will work for someone else. So this is my point number 1. In a point number 2, I want to explain how you can get started. What are the mechanism and what are logistics of the business? It is very simple. There is nothing fancy going on right now. Like, I am a full-time seller. I make my living by selling on eBay and Amazon, and I make very decent money by doing that. So I can buy my freedom back. You know what I mean? Probably, like, right now I can manage probably 5 hours a week. Easily, I can do that. Like, Tim Ferriss 4-hour work week, I'm probably very close to that already. And it pays my bill. And, it's a comfortable life. Of course, I'm not living in a villa or Buckingham Palace, but, my house is warm. I got food on the table. I got a car to drive. The house is fully paid off. I don't have any mortgage or anything like that. I don't have any finance or anything like that as well. But the point which I'm trying to make is, like the Steve Jobs says, you always can connect the dot by going backward. So if I didn't take the first step where I was making really, really decent money, I had a very good daytime job, and then I was working at night. Like, that was probably back in 2012 and 13. I was making around 4,000 to 5,000 a month. It was a really, really decent money at that time. I just said, okay, I'm not gonna do that anymore. So it was really hard for me even to skip all the consistent guaranteed income and start doing something which I wasn't really sure about if I will be able to make money. But in 2023, 2024 now, you can literally start a side hustle on the side along with your full-time job. You can spend probably 10 to 20 hours a week, and you can create a full-time business out of it. So if we talk about the logistics of the business, like how you're going to get started, first of all, look, you're going to have to choose a platform. What will be the best platform for you? There is eBay, there is Amazon, there is Shopify. I have done many different videos explaining a difference between each and every one of them. But in this video, I want to mostly talk about to the point. I would say if you're a beginner, you know nothing about e-commerce, eBay is the place where you can get started and you can scale the business. So once we open an eBay account, I'm going to link a video in the description which will explain you how to open an eBay account as well. It shows you each and everything as a step-by-step on there. So once you open an account, next thing is for you to actually find the products and then sell those products. And in the beginning, there are different types of business methods as well. So you can go in China. You can buy the things in bulk, which I do. And along with I do the drop shipping as well. But obviously, once you need to buy the things in bulk from China, you're going to have somewhat, I would say, about 400 to 500 pound of budget, which is what I will say this is a decent budget to get started with. People think about, you need 5,000-6,000 to get started. Like, I remember the first product which I launched, I only spent about 30 something pound on it. It was like a headphone which had like a zip in the middle, and I bought like 15 of those for 30 pound, and I sold one for $9.99. And that was my first product. Like, that gave me a lot of kick, and I thought, okay, well, this is something then I can do on a consistent basis. So along with, to make it full time, I added a drop shipping in it, I added a retail arbitrage in it. But in the beginning, if you have a budget and you think about, okay, well, I'm passionate about this thing, let me look into that, you can just simply buy that thing from China and start selling it on eBay. But the other way is to start with the drop shipping. To be honest with you, I'm going to be straight up front. Dropshipping is something that you will be able to get started with it, and you might be able to make full-time living out of it. But if you need to make it into a reliable business where you will have a control over the quality of the item that you are selling and the consistent supply of the item, because once you're dropshipping, you're simply relying on someone else to supply the item for you, which sounds very good. But let's say you have that item and you started selling that item. Down the line, your supplier will say, like, I don't have this item in stock anymore. So you are simply relying on somebody else. The point of the business is to have a lot of control over the products that you are selling on a day-to-day basis. So your ideal way to get started with the business is to you start with a drop shipping, because the barrier to entry in terms of budget is very low. You learn about the mechanism of the business, and then down the line you can scale your business just to simply buy the products physically from China, sell them onto like eBay first, and then you can scale the business down on Amazon. So the way I recommend once you get started with the drop shipping is the tool which I use is called Autods. So once you create your account on eBay, you can just simply link your account with Autods, and inside the Autods, for example, there are tons of different products. They work with many different suppliers as well. So if I go to winning products right here, I can like choose ship to United Kingdom, and I can choose the currency like Great British Pound as well. So you can see tons of different products that they have right here. But if I go to, let's say, in the marketplace, inside the marketplace, I can actually work with the particular supplier. So let's say I want to use Autods suppliers or want to use AliExpress, which I don't recommend because it's going to take very long time to deliver the item. So probably Autods supplier and Amazon. So let's go with Autods suppliers, ship from United Kingdom. So we will have a faster delivery time. The price range 15 to 30 pound, because we're going to have a decent profit margin in this one. So in this one right here, let's go to 5 to 15 right here. So we got all these products right here to sell, which have a faster delivery time. Like this one is 2 to 4 business days, 2 to 4 business days, 2 to 4 business days, 2 to 4 business days. So once you get started with this one, you will get the like inside the Autods, they can actually also fulfill the order for you. So like, for example, once the order will come, all the orders will be here, and I can, if I need to make a listing, all I have to do just simply click on import draft. So this products will be listed on my eBay store. Once the order will come, you can use the balance inside the Autods, and they can actually process the orders for you. So this can be like fully automated. That's why I say, even if you in the beginning you spend like 10 to 15 hours, you can start something, you can learn something, you see what products are selling on a consistent basis, and then you can scale the business from their side. E-commerce is something, to be honest with you, you will learn more once you will have more hands-on experience. Once you get started and you try to figure out the solutions for the problems which will come on your way by yourself as well. My name is Ancha. This is like the channel I talk about starting a business, scaling a business. This is something I have done. So if you like these kind of video, if you find any value, please subscribe. And I'm going to put one video right here which will explain all about, I will show you on a screen how to start a dropshipping and how to use it. Autods gonna be right here.